crafts time with Alex at Eurospec Garage. In this little portion of the video, we're going to be attempting to fix the seat that had the airbag blown. And so what I've done already is I've removed the leather or vinyl from the seat itself. And as I mentioned in a previous video, this foam section lives inside of the skin section, and it goes and it wraps around the upper backrest seat frame. And so in order to remove this, it comes out with the skin actually, and the way you remove it is there's two little clips on the back that actually attach to the back of the seat frame. And so if you undo this bottom portion, you can peel back this and it'll reveal these guys. And then usually like a clip or trim popper can be used to pop these guys out. And then both of these together will slide out from the seat back. And so once that happens, then we have to remove the skin from the foam section. And the way this is secured, I always wondered how the leather seats could maintain their shape to the foam underneath. I never knew how it was. And in fact, there are some metal rods running through. And if you can see, there are some C-clips, not C-clips, but they're kind of like circular rings that actually hold the seat and the leather in place. And so here's a little bit of a better shot. You can see that these rings, they adhere to some rods in the foam itself, and that's how it's secured. And so all I did is I took some needle nose pliers, twisted them one by one, and then I marked where each of these go. And then I marked where each of these go. As you can see, I watched a video on YouTube about it, and a professional upholstery guy was doing it. He said just mark where the rings go so that coming back together with it, you know exactly where to put them. And so the first thing we have to do is the airbag clearly ripped this portion of the foam away, and we're gonna have to glue that together. And so I went to Michael's and got some tools and equipment for this task. And the first one is weldwood contact cement, and supposedly you spray this onto the surface that you'd like to adhere to, let it sit for a few minutes, and then kind of put them together. And so that's what I plan to do with this section here. I also wasn't sure about these rings, but at Michael's I found these things called jump rings. Similar concept. They are closed off though, so we're gonna have to pry them apart and then somehow crimp them together so that they hold their shape. And finally, I got the best thread I could as far as matching the color of the seat. And so I don't have a sewing machine, as I'm sure most of you guys also don't have a sewing machine. Maybe your wife or girlfriend has one, or your mom. But I'll be using a needle, a sewing needle, and trying to fix the upholstery from the inside out. So I'll show you guys all of that in a little bit. But first, we're going to try to stick the foam together. And so I'm going to read the directions real quick. Shake well for 1 to 2 minutes. Be sure surfaces are clean, dry, and free of foreign material. Hold can 6 to 8 inches from surface. Allow 5 to 10 minutes for adhesive to become tacky. Press objects together firmly across the entire surface. So you're supposed to spray it and let it dry for a little bit. So we're going to do that. Alright guys, so I have my needle, and let's try to do our best, I guess. Let's see. As I can tell you right now, this is going to take a while. And so what I'm doing, I know it's very difficult for you guys to see the thread, but I'm skipping 2, skipping 1, 2, and then coming through back 1, and then skipping 2, back 1, and that's how I'm basically attaching the 2. And I'm going to go through, after all of this, I'm going to go through and try to tighten up all of these seams afterwards so that they're nice and uniform. So yeah, let me put you guys on time lapse, and then hopefully you guys will see this process go a little bit faster. Hey guys, well, it's almost time to put the seat back together, and I just wanted to show you guys my little stitch job. If you can see right along there, that's what I did by hand, and it turned out okay. And I'll show you guys how it's holding up when we put it in. But now it's time to put this onto the foam right over here. And the biggest challenge is going to be, obviously it was easy to remove because one side was ripped open, but now it's going to be challenging to put it back in. So once again, the way that the material is held to the seat nicely is with these rings. I found these ones at Michael's. They're called jump rings. I asked the lady at the checkout what they're for, and she said she didn't know, but they look to be appropriate for the job. And so the 2 tools I brought to try to install this are circlip pliers, and the nice thing about them is when you squeeze them, they separate. So we might need that when we get into here, and also just some needle nose pliers. So, and again, to show you guys how these rings go in, you can see I made some marks here, but if you look in there, there's a metal wire, I guess, very rigid wire, and that's actually what the rings will hook onto. And so now the challenge is going to be, how do we, I mean, these ones at the bottom are going to be relatively easy to do, but up here at the top, how are we going to apply the skin so that we can get these top ones in? I'm not sure, but we will give it a try. So let's do our best. So let's do this. We could of course start just like this, but then I would have to somehow bend this out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this inside out, mostly. And then hope that we can get these rings in. So if you guys can see, I got it like this. And now we're going to attempt put the foam in. If you guys can see that here. Let's zoom in. So we found our first jump rings. And actually I forgot one right over there, so I'll show you guys what I did. So I'm taking it like this, spreading it to clear where we need to go, and then hooking it onto the seat. And now I guess it's the first opportunity to try to hook it down in there. There we go. Now I'm using the needle nose pliers to squeeze the two sides together, hopefully. I guess we'll leave that one for now. We'll try to get this one in as well, so I'm going to open it up just a little bit. Just like that. Try to push it in there. There we go. So that one is in. And I actually used my hand on the other side to push up what I need. Now I'm going to rotate it just a little bit. Hopefully get my pliers around to close that little loop. Without damaging the foam. Looks like it's working. There we go. That one is closed. Awesome. And now we're going to do this one and do our best to squeeze it. That's tough. Did it? Let's see. Awesome. Now we're moving on to the next set, which is right here. Actually, right over here. You gotta be careful with them because they'll start to slide on you. Got that one. And this one. So we're gonna lower it. And slide it. So I think I'm gonna attack these ones on the side and then do these ones afterwards. Guys, this is going to be difficult to see, but I'm essentially trying to get these hooks attached to that bar there and then squeeze around so that they don't give way. Hey guys, well now it's finally time to put the seat cover and foam onto the seat back itself. And here it is. This is what it looks like. There's this thing here. Oh, and then also another fun fact. In order to remove the headrest, there's this button here that you actually push through the seat back. I had to Google that one, but essentially this releases the headrest. And so if you push this up, you're able to lift it out. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, here's our new airbag installed, plugged in, everything else. Here is the front of the seat. You get this nice plastic back support thing. Oh, and it's got some motors as well for the lumbar support and everything else. So when I was taking this apart, the back of the material clips in somewhere around here, one of these holes. I don't remember which. if I remember correctly. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So yeah, let's do it. Right here, you see that little thing? So that actually clips in right in there somewhere. Just like that. So I clip that one in. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. And now, this one is going to be tough. So this, the way this works is this faces back, and this clips in just like that. So I'm going to have to do our best. Well, ooh, I heard a satisfying click. Let's see, I think, oh, there we are, almost. Well, guys, I think we did it. Check it out. And this is the side that I stitched right here, if you can tell. You can't see it. The airbag is in place. You can tell that there's a little bit of a bulge here if you feel, but I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to feel. But yeah, everything looking and feeling the way it should. So I'm very, very happy we have a driver's seat again. So now the next step is to attach this to the seat bottom and go put it in the car. Although the car doesn't have an engine and all the wires are disconnected, so we might have to get creative with how exactly that's gonna work. I guess we'll see. But yeah, so far so good. My first time doing it. It was pretty intimidating, but yeah, did this by hand right here. And I think it turned out just fine. I mean, it looks just like factory. You'd never know. So, all right, let's move on to the next thing. All right, guys, so now it's time to put the seat back onto the seat bottom. And it's relatively easy, as I came to find out. You can see there's two bolts right here. They are triple squares. we're going to flip it on its behind and begin to locate where the wires go. The nice thing about wires is that they have memory, and so you're able to remember where they go. So, let's see, I think we got one that goes here, just like that, and one that goes maybe right here, maybe. And then let's see, we got one of these maybe. This one go there, here. Imagine they need some slack, so let's see. Oh yeah, so this one, you can see there's a red connector down here. This one clearly goes there. So let's plug that in. And then there's a little slidey thingy. And I think that about does it for all of the connectors. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this goes out front. And we got the two, this is the airbag connector and this is the seat connector. Also, there was a clip, maybe that one goes right there, but we'll figure that out later. So here we are. This is the seat control panel. It's going to live just like that. And there are a couple of clips. So if you look right here, I removed that. And then there's a bolt right there. It's a T30. And then we got a little clip right there. So these are the little clips that have the little plastic cylinder that slide through. I somehow managed to find all of them when I was taking it apart. And I think that is it. So we got quite a few connectors here. So this one, this one, and I believe that goes right there, yep. And then this one down here. Like that. And now I think we're ready to start putting this on. And so if you notice there's a bar right here, we're gonna click onto that. There we are. All right, so that side is done. Check it out, it says airbag. And again, similar story. We're just gonna be covering this one up. We have a little clip right there and one up there, and I just realized that I'm missing one of the plastic little cylinders. All right, so this one is going to go under the seatbelt buckle, and
over the mechanism. Right? Not the way it's supposed to be? I think so. Like that. So, with that, we are ready to go into the car. I hope you guys learned something with this. I know I did. So, let's go and try to see if the power seat will work so that we can install the bolts that are hidden right now. Perfect. All right, so now I think we have enough space, maybe not. But we'll take the headrest and apply it. Boom, just like that. Hey! All right, it's looking like a normal seat now. And once again, this is where the airbag is, and it's looking like it was never touched. So I'm very, very happy about that. Let's see what we can do about the bolts in the back. We might actually be able to get to them. I could be wrong though. So yeah, so that was the seat fix and seat repair. I'm very happy with that. We also have the steering wheel airbag in. So at least this area, if you don't look up top, at least this area looks like a decent car.